This is Jason Brennan, and
Louis Perez, and this is the MAHS podcast. And today we have a new guest with us. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Matthew Heineman, the cross country coach, along with the girls soccer and track.
how's your day going so far?
It's going good. Didn't want to wake up, but ended up waking up and making it to the gym on time. Where the last 2 days, oversleeping, man.
Gets the best of us. All right, Louis, you got any question?
No, not really. Let's just talk a little bit about cross country. You said you're the cross country coach. What inspired you to want to, be the coach, and why do you want to be here at Mountain Empire?
Let's see. 5 years ago, started taking fitness serious, and running was a part of workouts, and I sucked at it. And so I told myself, like, I'm gonna start running. I'm gonna get better at it. And through that, I've ran two marathons, a couple half marathons, and then talking with Mr. Sills the last couple years, he's like, hey, do you want to coach the kids? Which this is something that I haven't done at this level. I've done, AYSO stuff like that, but I took that leap last year. So last year was my first year, and then it continued through this year. And I'm finding that I'm really enjoying the coaching aspect, but as well as just getting to know the kids outside of the classroom. I see them in middle school, but then years later, I still can kind of keep up and see how they're progressing and see a lot of changes. And I'm finding that the kids who are joining cross country are able to do stuff that they don't think they were able to. No one wants to run, especially 3 miles.
So I know you teach at the middle school, and the middle school got recently moved here. But do you think teaching and coaching go hand in hand with each other, or do you think there's uh, how do you think the differences are?
I think teaching, you have your curriculum, your math, English, social studies, whatever subject you're teaching, and coaching, um, you have a lot more kind of not life skills, but you have those talks of how to take better care of yourself. You're teaching them how to move their body and what to do. But because I have the experience in the classroom and I know most of the kids, that relationship that was built in middle school carries over to high school. And I've had some runners that weren't going to join, but they saw that I was the coach, and they joined, which makes me feel good. It makes me feel that they want to be there. And I like to have fun when we work out, or at least try to. Again, running's difficult, but after you're done and you accomplish a run, you do feel good.
Yeah, I could definitely say you feel a lot better after a run, especially when you have a coach that's like making you want to go and making it a lot of fun for everyone.
What marathons have you ran, and have you experienced what they call a runner's high?
So my unofficial marathon was when COVID hit. I was in training and they canceled it. So my buddy and I, we still ran the 26.2 miles at Lake Murray, and we had friends out there, cheering us on. So the the loop at Lake Murray is 6 miles, so we did that 4 times plus a little more to make it. And then I did the Rock and Roll Marathon, which that was with everyone, where you went through the runner's high. I know a lot of people feel really good during my runs. I want to get through, but after I'm done, I think that's when I feel that runner's high, where I look and see how many miles I did or what my pace was. And if it was, my PR or my personal record, you feel good. But it's also one of those like, wow, I just ran, 12 miles today in training, and, the rest of the day is all bonus and you feel good afterwards.
Can you tell us what's going through your mind when you're running through these marathons? Like I know you've said how like when someone's like running and they stop, it's kind of hard to get started up again. Like how what are you thinking when you're running?
A lot of times that I'm thinking is either work, kids, wife, kind of like life. Like what do I need to get done? And I kind of plan out like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do when I'm done, or you can look back and problem solve if something was going on. Like, okay, you have a lot of time to reflect because it's just you and either music or you're going. I try not to stop because once you stop and you're already tired, it's hard to go so running is definitely a mental game. So it's you versus you. So it's kind of what can you do? The thought process, like I said, is just keep moving forward. Um, if it's a race like that, I'll find kind of someone that stands out, either that they're kind of in front of me and I want to try to keep up with them. And if I pass them, then I'll find someone new, or say they keep going, then I'll find someone new, just so I kind of have someone to follow.
Do you find like a cross country or when you're running these marathons, like it's obviously it's kind of a race, but how do you feel? Do you feel like it's like just like a fun way to get out there and like run with some people and see how far you can push your body, or do you feel like you like want to compete against these people? How do you feel like that?
I would say it's a little bit of both because there is that competition. There's people you don't know. Um, One, if there's a bit of a hill, that's where people slow down. So I try to pick up the pace or at least maintain so I can pass them. Um, but I think running the marathons and half marathons and all that, you get a bit of bragging rights, especially with friends that haven't done it. Where you kind of like, hey, if I can do it, so can you. And I've had a couple friends that have joined races, and I ran with them just so they can experience it too, because you don't know what you are capable of doing unless you put yourself out there.
So you're not only the coach of the cross country team here, but you're also a family man. Can we talk to you a little bit about some of your hobbies after school besides running? A little bit about what you do.
Um, like I said, fitness is a big part. So I do CrossFit in the mornings as long as I wake up in time, because that class starts at 5 o'clock. So I have to be in Alpine by 5 and do the workout. Then come to work, and then after, I've been doing jujitsu for over 2.5 years, and that's at night. My son does that as well, so that's kind of a bonding thing that we have. And my wife does CrossFit, so there's kind of a bonding thing that my wife and I have. So just being active is a big part, and through those activities, you meet friends, and uh, you have something in common. And then you're hanging outside of the gym. You're going to barbecues, going to get together. So it's always good to be with people that have similar interests and that can push you and make you want to do better.
So would you say you were just talking about how CrossFit, jujitsu, you're hanging out with the people with the same interests. Would you say kids that are usually like they don't have very many friends? Would you say that cross country is a good way to make some friends and like hang out with people and have a fun thing to do after school?
I might be biased on this, but I really do think if you find a club, if you do cross country, a sport, you're going to find people that you guys are going through the same thing. One thing that I like about CrossFit is we're all doing the same workout. So if it's a very difficult one, we all went through it. We push each other, cheer each other on. You see the coaches working out, alongside you. And when you see them struggle, it's like, okay, this is a tough one, or I got another rep in me. And the same with uh, any sport or club. If you join that, you're gonna have uh, people around that you can have conversations about because you have that interest, and just find those positive groups and people in your life.
Yeah, we've had a lot of clubs on here that have, and we've asked them like the aspect inside the club if there's like a family aspect inside the club. Would you say that there's a family aspect inside of the workout and community that you're with?
I I definitely think so, because it's not just like a 24-hour gym where you're there, you're lifting your weights all by yourself. Where jujitsu and CrossFit, it's basically group activity. We're all, like I said, we're doing the same workout, and then with jujitsu, you get up close and personal with your training partners, and that carries over outside where you don't see someone in the gym for a couple days. You're going to reach out and like, hey, is everything okay? You good? You need anything? And a lot of times it's they're just busy, sick, and then they come back and they're happy to see you. You're happy to see them. So it is definitely, I say, a big family aspect in the sense of you're all going through it together, and you can't do it alone. You cannot do jujitsu by yourself, and you can't really do CrossFit by yourself. You need that push.
Yeah, definitely. Like, would you say like, well, you have that family aspect, and that family aspect really like, say like you're not feeling as good that day, and you're not performing as well as you want to. Like, it's good. It's always good to. Would you feel it's always good to like have those people that you're close to, when you're doing CrossFit to like help you push through the workouts, help you push through like jujitsu practice and like tournaments and all that, keep you encouraged.
Yeah, having those people that are closer, you kind of know. Oh, they're off today. Let me check in on them. Let me see. Is everything okay? And maybe you're not training as hard, or you're doing, but you're talking to them before or after. Um, it helps, and you know, you always get a good morning or how are you when you come into the gym, which is good because sometimes we need that. We need to, like, man, I had a rough day, and just have someone to listen to. You don't always want to go to your wife or your close friends and family. It's nice to have someone outside that has a different ear that is ready to be there for you as well.
So I know you have a really busy schedule. Would you say it affects you in a kind of negative way, or would you say it, like, you can deal with it pretty well? Like, you're really well organized with it.
Yeah, or organization, that's something that I'm trying to work on. But I do have a busy schedule. I wake up at 4 and I don't get home until 8:30 or so at night and do it again. But I make time and I make a priority of what is important, and being active, being there for family is important. And there's a lot of times where if I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, getting that workout in, it does help relieve and alleviate some of that stress, where it's like, okay, I can get through this. It gives me time to think of, like, what do I need to do for the next day to be prepared and move on. So it's one of those, it has definitely helped me.
Can I ask you what some of your motivations are to get up every morning this early and do what you do? Because for the normal person, this will take a toll on them, and I'm sure it makes you tired. Can you tell us a little bit as to what pushes you to get up and do this?
Definitely a good That's a good question. um Again, 5 years ago I started being active. I was severely overweight, and going kind of down the path of, like, am I going to be around for my son? And with him being 10 now, and he was 4 or 5 at the time, and like, I know I wanted to be the dad that I didn't have growing up, and I want to be able to provide for him more than what I had. And so coming to work and bettering myself, in turn it betters his life, and I'm hoping I'm a positive role model for him as well as all the students that I come in contact with, because that is my goal. If I can be there for a kid that needs it, that I'm all for it. And that's one reason why choosing to do the coaching afterwards, where I can go home, but like I said, that the relationship building is huge, and being a part of it. And like, now I feel like I'm definitely a middle school teacher, but I feel like I'm part of the high school too because of the coaching aspect of it.
I would say like, definitely coaching, you get that sense of like, you're leading these kids, and like you're showing them these life skills, these things that they need to know when they're older, and I think it's really cool. And Louis,
As a coach, what's like one of the and most important things that you want to get across to your kids, that you want to be able to show the kids that you're teaching? If you don't, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
You can do more than you think. um, Up here we don't have a lot of sports growing up. We have little league, we have soccer. So the football, you got to travel. So a lot of times kids are coming in ninth grade and wanting to do a sport that they've never played, which I think is great. I'm glad that we have that opportunity. It's one of those, you just got to stick with it. I've had a lot of runners that couldn't run half a mile, and our meets are 3.1 miles, and they're doing that, by the end of the season. And you can do whatever you want as long as you put that effort and put your mind to it. The consistency is key. Show up to whatever, if you're doing a sports team, show up to practice and be there ready to learn and be a part of it instead of just socialize and be on the side. You're there, you're going to get better as long as you keep showing up.
Would you say having like a team to come to, like having a team that wants to wants to practice, wants to go to the meets? Would you say going to those teams, like when you go to practice, would you say that that's what kind of motivates you a little bit to want to like push the workout?
Yeah, I mean, there's been times where we could have canceled practice because we've had a lot, or if I had a meeting, I couldn't do it. And this year, especially, the kids were like, no, we'll still have a practice. We want to be there. And so they're not taking the easy way out, which that motivates me to, okay, then I'm going to do what I can to be there. And I try to do all the workouts that I can with them. Um, I would say I'm part of it 90-95%. There's a couple times where I might not be as active, just injury or just sore, but I'm still there. I'm still trying to push the all the athletes there, and I'm hoping that my energy is feeding off of you because your energy is feeding off of me, or vice versa, whatever.
Has there been like some things that you've learned as a coach that have been able to help you as a father, and then some things that you've learned as a father that's been able to help you as a coach with these kids here?
Patience. Um, Working, as a teacher, you got to have patience. You see stuff, and I'm noticing, where there's times where I'll get frustrated with my own son, and it might be because stuff that's happening on at work. But I'm also seeing his behaviors are very similar to others, and I got to realize, it's part of growing up. You know, Kids are learning how to problem solve, how to handle situations, and so just being patient with them definitely um, benefits my interactions with them. But coaching and teaching, I would say patience, because some stuff might come easy to me, and I got to realize this is the first time people have ran besides at PE. And we all know what happened in that middle school PE. There's not a whole lot of running, and so they come to high school and doing a sport, so it's all new to them.
I don't have much more to ask. Do you have anything more, Louis?
No, not really. Do you have any questions for me and Mr. Brennan here? We usually ask our guests, if they have anything to add or anything to ask us.
Yeah, I would say, since I've seen both of you guys doing different sports and being a part of it, what's the impact sports have had on you guys?
Personally, it's helped me have like team bonding. I'm not always really good with team sports. That's why I do like wrestling and cross country where it's a team, but at the end it's like your performance. But like it's always good to have like my team, working with people, making new friends, and it's really impacted my life cuz like now I have something to not brag about but look forward to and like tell my friends and have my friends like look at me like that I want them to like or they want to see me be successful. And that's what I really like about sports. It's like seeing my friends want to see me successful.
Yeah, the big thing, well, one of the big things for me was the weight loss aspect of it, because yeah, I get where you're coming from. I used to be, overweight too, and once I started seeing myself lose that weight, I started feeling good, and I started getting pretty much addicted to losing it. So I started saying, I want to go out and do the sport, and I fell in love with it, and then I started meeting new people, and there was that family aspect around it, and we push each other, like you say, we go and we check on each other if we're not there, and I just really dug it. It was just like another family outside of school, and yeah, it just something I'm cool with. I can dig with, and so yeah. Is there any more that you have for us?
I would just say, the follow up on kind of like the family aspect. I know um, this might make Jason blush a little bit, but he actually came out to one of my jujitsu tournaments out of total surprise. Didn't know he was coming up, and one of his reasons was like, "Oh, you're always there for my wrestling meets and all that," and just you build that um, relationship, that community where you guys have that in common, that competition, and you're part of the team. And I would say that that was very meaningful to me, where I'm just out there, old man, trying something new, and if I have that impact on an old student, I'm hoping I'm reciprocating that.
Of course, I always see you watching either football game, getting going to cross country. I mean, you obviously coach cross country, but I see you at all these other sports, because like at Mountain Empire, we're all like Red Hawks. We all want to support each other's sports. We're not trying to compete with other sports because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. So I think it's cool that you go and see other people's sports. So that's why I wanted to go see at your jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah, I just want to sprinkle a little bit onto that. I've seen you're one of the only staff members that I've probably seen at, just about every event pretty much for the school. I've seen you at a lot of school events, a lot more than I've seen any other people. But yeah, I just want to give you props for being here for us, because you're here for a lot of students, and I hear a lot of people talking great about you. I myself, I have a lot to say about you, because you're nothing but good. You've been good to us all, and I want to say on behalf of the MEHS podcast here, thank you very much for us allowing you to, or giving us some of your time to come and talk to us, and thank you very much, Mr. Heineman. If there's no more, then I guess this is Louis Prez,
Jason Brennan.
and this is the MHS podcast. Thank you very much, Mr. Heineman.